49ers News and Rumors Mailbag coming your way on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. We go live every single Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. And even though the games are done, our coverage only getting started when it comes to free agency, NFL draft, news, rumors. We got you covered, including the best audience engagement. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Let's start off this mailbag with this first question coming in from Travis Jackson. What's bigger, losing Mike McDaniel or getting Anthony Lynn? I'd say Mike McDaniel. He has familiarity with the scheme. He's a little bit younger, a little bit more creative. But to replace Mike McDaniel with Anthony Lynn is a great hire by Coach Kyle Shanahan. And congratulations to Mike McDaniel and his family for landing the Miami Dolphins head coaching job. He was on the PJ, looking fly in the suit with the family. That clip of him calling Tua Tagovailoa saying, "Yo, I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to get the best out of you," was really cool. And he's been with Kyle Shanahan every step of the way. Houston, Washington, Cleveland, Atlanta, San Francisco. No other coach has been to Kyle Shanahan's right like Mike McDaniel has been over the last decade plus, other than Mike McDaniel. Tells me that Kyle Shanahan really likes him, and I think Mike McDaniel, with his creativity, is going to be great for the Dolphins. But you get in Anthony Lynn, who is a run game guru, like McDaniel, played running back, has familiarity with the Shanahan scheme because he played for Mike Shanahan in Denver, and he has head coaching experience, plus he's well respected. Great get for Kyle Shanahan. Jesus, Pay Chase. Did you mean to say hey Chase? If so, what it do, my brother? What do you think about the Niners picking up a backup for Trey Lance? A couple of actually pretty intriguing options. One has also a background with Anthony Lynn and Tyrod Taylor. He started 6 games last year with the Houston Texans, and as a backup quarterback with some mobility, a guy who started a lot of games, who would come in on the cheap. I like Tyrod Taylor. I also wouldn't hate Mitchell Trubisky. I know a lot of people really like the Cam Newtons of the world or the Colt McCoys of the world. I'd rather have a McCoy type than a Cam Newton, but Trubisky, Tyrod Taylor, two of those names that intrigue me a little bit as a backup to Trey, who can help continue to develop and tutor him. Also don't think it's out of the cards for the 49ers to draft a backup quarterback in the mid to later rounds because it's the position of utmost importance. Matthew Vega, trade Jimmy Garoppolo for picks or players. I'd like either or. And honestly, I think you can trade away Jimmy Garoppolo for both picks and players. I think the wisest thing for the 49ers to do, play up the leverage and see what's out there. There are, let's say, 10 teams or so looking for a quarterback in the NFL offseason. A lot of those teams are ready to win right now. And I'd make the argument there aren't many better quarterbacks than Jimmy Garoppolo to help a team win right now in the immediacy of the moment. So you get some draft capital back. I've always said a second-round pick. I don't think a first-round pick is realistic. And you get a cornerback as well, let's say. That's a pretty good haul for Jimmy Garoppolo. CJSF49, how much do you think Nick Bosa will get paid on his next deal? So a former NFL executive said today, as we record this on Tuesday, he thinks Nick Bosa could be one of the first defensive ends to land a contract worth $30 million plus annually. Now that's a lot of money, but if you wait to pay Nick Bosa, you might have to pay him that much money. Let's say after next year, if he goes on and has 15.5 sacks in the regular season like he did, and 4 more sacks in the playoffs. I'm of the belief that it's the smartest thing to do financially and to keep your players happy and to build around your franchise cornerstones, to sign that contract going into the final year of that rookie deal, kind of like with what the Niners did with Fred Warner last offseason when they made him the second highest paid linebacker in the NFL. You get that deal done, you make them happy, you lock them down for the future, but also as the NFL salary cap continues to grow and increase and get bigger, these contracts are going to get fatter. So by getting the deal done now, you actually could save some money because right now, Nick Bosa, I don't think he'd get $30 million. You wait until 2023, he might demand that on the open market. Speaking of signing contracts and NFL free agency, name a free agent out there you want the 49ers to sign. There are a lot of really good players set to hit the open market. Drop me some names in the comment section. Garcia Brothers, Chase, would you rather take a second-round pick or 2 fourth-round picks for Jimmy G? You always aim for the higher pick because that's where you can get better players. And I think you can get a really good player in the second round, a player you can build around, but also a player who can impact games immediately. I mean, look at what Ambry Thomas was able to do developmentally later on in the year. Look at what Deebo Samuel did in his rookie year as a second-round pick during that Super Bowl year. Same thing with Nick Bosa as a rookie. You can get players who can impact games right away, higher in the draft, and of course you can get long-term starters in the fourth round and immediate playmakers as well, but the pool is always deeper the higher you go in the draft. Slick Niner, slick with this question. Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jimmy G, straight up. I'd love it. The idea of it is very intriguing. You'd probably have to let go of Jaquiski Tartt, let him hit the open market. I know we're bitter about that dropped interception, but he did play very well this year, and Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward as a safety tandem is very, very good. Minkah Fitzpatrick's even better, though. So Minkah for Jimmy G, I like it. I don't think the Steelers would like it. I think they'd rather give up a cornerback like Joe Hayden in addition to a second or third round pick. Old man, do you see Alex Mack retiring this offseason? If so, why or why not? Well, if he were to retire, it's because he's been in the league for a long time. Ever since he reached year 10, every offseason, he's taken some time to think about his future in the NFL. I think he's getting to year 13, 14, 15. He's been in the league for a minute. But this past year, he was one of the best centers in the NFL. And on that 45-yard catch and run for Deebo Samuel in the NFC Championship game, who was it that helped spring him free down the field? It was Alex Mack. He moves really well. Centers can often age very well. Alex Mack has been able to do that, and I'd like to see him be a part of his see him be a part of the 49ers' future plans. Year 13, 36 years old, by the way, for Alex Mack. Good job by producer Marshall for giving me that exact number. But even though he's that old and that long in the tooth, played really good football this past year. Some really big and marquee names who are going to be free agents on this 49ers roster. I'm talking about the likes of Laken Tomlinson, DJ Jones, Arden Key, K'Wan Williams, Jaquiski Tartt. Who is the top priority in-house free agent that the 49ers need to sign this offseason? Let me know right now. Ulysses Hernandez, who gets paid more? Deebo Samuel or Nick Bosa? Either way, both are scary. Let's go Niners. San Francisco. You already know. So Deebo Samuel, because he plays multiple positions, I'm fascinated to see what those contract negotiations are like. John Lynch said that we have money budgeted aside for, by the way, 2 members of that 2019 draft class, which is crazy. An all-time draft class because both of those guys could be future Hall of Famers. But Deebo Samuel, John Lynch also called him a wide back because he plays wide receiver, he plays running back, and you just put the football in the hands of your best playmakers and watch him get in the lab and do work. So he plays multiple positions. So how is that going to set his market price? For Bosa, I think he could fetch a contract annually worth 20, 25, upwards of $25+ million, maybe even 30 if the Niners don't sign him right away. I think they're both going to be very close with their contract extensions, though. That's a fantastic question. Super Bowl coming your way from SoFi Stadium on Sunday, and a really intriguing matchup between the Los Angeles Rams, I know, it hurts, and the Cincinnati Bengals. The 49ers, by the way, 3-1 against the 2 teams in the Super Bowl this year. Sucks that they're not there. But if you want to bet on the Super Bowl game, chatsports.com/49bet. Promo code Niners125 is the spot to do so. 125% deposit bonus. And this is our last call to send all of you a free San Francisco 49ers jersey. Head to chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. Sign up. Deposit at least $100. By doing that, you get an additional $125 back. Make a bet, any dollar significance, then you email us, jersey@chatsports.com, letting us know that you followed all those steps. Jerseys available right now for Nick Bosa, George Kittle, and Trey Lance. Follow those steps, email us, we'll send you a free 49ers jersey. Slatty, what it do? What do you think about us picking up Odell Beckham Jr. for wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3? I don't think the 49ers will have the money to pay Odell Beckham Jr. Now, if I were him, I don't ever want to advise anybody on taking less money because I'm always trying to chase the bag as well. But if I'm OBJ, couple of really tough years in Cleveland, the back end of that career with the New York Giants didn't go as according to plan. He's been awesome for the Los Angeles Rams. And I think a big reason for that, one, of course, he has Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. But in addition to that, Cooper Kupp is there. Tyler Higbee is a very good tight end. Imagine what they can do when they're able to get even more weapons on the offensive side of the football. So I think OBJ has been very good because he's not the number one option. And he figures better at this point of his career as a 2 or a 3. Now, if he comes to San Francisco, he'd be the 2 or 3. But I just think he's going to demand too much money. If I were OBJ, I'd stay with the Rams because everything worked out well. He's been able to revive his career, too. Timothy Smith, Chase, how about trading Jimmy G for Xavier Howard since Mike is coaching? I think that there could be some coaches who leave San Francisco who are bottom-tier assistants to go to Mike McDaniel's staff. I also think that some trades are in play as well. Yes, there was a social media clip about Mike McDaniel looking forward to working with Tua Tagovailoa. I wouldn't necessarily rule out a Jimmy Garoppolo trade, although I think that's somewhat unrealistic. I wouldn't be surprised if a player like Raheem Mostert, as a free agent, signs with Mike McDaniel as one of the future backs for the Miami Dolphins. You have that line of communication, though, and I don't think that's ever a bad thing when you have that direct line of communication. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they hit up Mike McDaniel. You guys trying to pull off a trade? Xavier Howard has been frustrated with his time in Miami. You want Jimmy G? We'll take Xavier Howard. Let's get that deal done. That would be pretty interesting because it certainly fills a need for the 49ers and maybe an area of need for the Miami Dolphins, depending on their evaluation for Tua. Make sure you subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports for the best offseason coverage. We're bringing you the latest news, the latest rumors, live shows, Q&As, and to get your questions answered during our mailbags, you got to be subscribed. Do you want 49ers coverage that's entertaining, consistent, fast, and informative? We have you covered. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Old man, do you see us re-signing Jason Verrett and Raheem Mostert? I would say no, because at this point, both of those players are older and they're both injury prone. So I don't think re-signing them is going to happen. Wouldn't be surprised, though, because both are valued in the locker room. Both are good players. I just think that you're building for the future. You have a Super Bowl ready roster in addition to that. You want some youthful exuberance on this team, and you don't want injury prone players who take up roster spots. If you're a real one, I want you to get into the comment section next and type San Francisco. I actually got my shirt in the mail yesterday. Got to go back to the crib. Got to clean it. I'll wear it on a show later this week. But for now, type San Francisco in the chat if you're a real one.